Just die already! I snarled as I brought my bat crashing down on the big beast's head for what felt like the 100th time. A stomach-turning crunch made my insides clench. I didn't know what had cracked, but I could only hope it wasn't my bat. I knew I wouldn't have any chance of surviving without it. Thankfully, though, the crack had come not from my weapon, but the terrible monster's skull. I collapsed, exhausted, to the ground, then reached out to touch the corpse. Nothing. Just like all my previous battles. No loot, no experience. Nothing. Just the lifeless body of a horrifying beast that looked like a massive dog, covered in open wounds and gouges. I heard a bone-chilling howl in the distance. Apparently the beasts had reached another survivor. Judging by how much joy was in that howl, one of the beasts had already managed to start feeding. Its howl was an announcement to the world, letting us all know that we would henceforth have one more powerful beast to reckon with, one who had tasted human flesh. Squeezing the handle of my bat until my knuckles cracked, I rose up onto my feet. I was staggering. I would have loved to rest and forget the whole horrible nightmare, but I no longer had any right to do that. If the preceding 3 days, the 3 days that had passed since our world had changed beyond recognition, had taught me anything, it was that you could never, ever sit still in one place, especially if that place happened to be the same place where you had just killed a mutated beast, who had been a human like yourself just a few days before. I learned this on the very first day, when my buddy Serge had transformed into one of these horrifying monsters right in front of my eyes. He was one of 2 friends who had come with me on a camping trip. We were hiking along a fast, relatively deserted stretch of river when it happened. I can still see the scene when I close my eyes. The guy suddenly froze, and then he started to transform. Maybe he would have screamed in pain if he could have, but his throat didn't complete the transformation right away. By the time it did, I was staring at a soulless creature who let out a blood-curdling howl that echoed across the entire area, and prompted a chorus of howls in response. Other people had transformed just like Serge. Before I knew what was happening, I lost my second friend. Unable to believe his eyes, Dima reached out to the beast that had so recently been our friend Serge. A fountain of blood sprayed everywhere, followed by a horrid slurping sound. The beast began to eat. We had prepared for our trip pretty thoroughly, so I managed to grab a hatchet just as the last bit of Dima disappeared down the beast's gullet, and the monster raised its head in search of a new victim. There wasn't even a hint of sanity left in its eyes. There was nothing but an inhuman thirst for blood. Another prolonged howl rang out, followed by another howl in response. The other beasts were closing in fast. The monster's gaze came to rest on me, and it shot forward like a rocket, only to run into a very well-aimed blow from my hatchet.